Buckle up, as if today could not get any more interesting. According to Vincent Bonsignore, Deion Sanders has very strong interest in the Raiders head coaching job. Oh man, dude, I'm telling you what, this offseason is going to be something. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to go through and I'm going to read you the entire report from Raiders beat reporter Vincent Bonsignore. I'm going to tell you everything that he's got going on. But I mean this, dude. When Vinny puts something out there like this, that usually means that the ball is rolling here a little bit. I know that the Raiders have had their eye on Mike Vrabel. I know that they've interviewed Ben Johnson. I know they have an interview scheduled on Monday with Pete Carroll. And, they had an interview with Aaron Glenn yesterday, and there's a lot of moving parts to this. I'm telling you what, though, with Deion Sanders having some strong interest, the Raiders head coaching job, it's obviously one that people are looking for. For updates, for news, hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. And to everybody out there that was like the Tom Brady might hire Tom Brady thing, I love when you guys poke at me. It's the video that I did earlier this morning. Let's be real. If we weren't friends, you wouldn't make jokes at me. I know when I have my best friends, those are people I'm not afraid to poke at a little bit. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. It's going to be the craziest, wildest offseason of all time. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you guys are up to date. Sub, noties on. This is the time of the year to do it. All right, so I'm going to read through everything that Vincent Bonsignore reported earlier today, kind of like what I've been doing here on a lot of these shows. So it says, Colorado football coach Deion Sanders has his eyes on Raiders coaching job, according to a person with knowledge of the situation. Quote, he has a very strong interest in the job, the person said. What's interesting about this is Deion just a few days ago spoke about if he were to coach in the NFL, he would want to coach his sons, Shedeur and Shiloh. Now, whether you want Shedeur, whether you don't want Shiloh, I'm telling you this. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation around it, and if Deion's the Raiders head coach, I hate to break it to you if you didn't want Shedeur, but that's going to be the quarterback of this team. And I don't think that the Raiders would have to trade up to go get him. You know what I mean? Like, if the Raiders want Shedeur right now and Deion's not the head coach, you probably have to move up to a higher draft pick in order to try to take him. If Deion's the head coach, you could just take him at number 6. Now, there's another part of me where I'm like just thinking in my head, and I don't think it happens because they want Shedeur to be a high draft pick. But, like, if you knew Shedeur and Shiloh were going to be your picks, couldn't you just take them in, like, the 6th or 7th round, and then we keep on stacking it? You give Shedeur, like, I don't think it's ever happened. I don't even know if it's allowed. You give Shedeur right away a 4-year deal. If you can get Shedeur Sanders in the 7th round as our last pick, just give him a 4-year deal right off the top, Mark. I don't even know if it's possible. But, again, if Deion wants the job, Shedeur's going to be this team's quarterback, and it's going to happen. So we're going to keep going here with the Vincent Bonsignore article. The person indicated the NFL-connected associates of Sanders reached out to the Raiders to express Sanders' interest in the opening. So the Raiders didn't reach out to Deion. Deion reached out to the Raiders. Okay. The Raiders have begun to interview candidates to replace Antonio Pierce, who was fired this Tuesday after the team finished 4-13 in his first full season as coach. On Friday, they interviewed Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, and Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. The team is scheduled to interview with Pete Carroll, which I mentioned. They're also scheduled to meet with Robert Saleh next week. Bonsignore continues and says, it's unclear whether the Raiders are interested in Sanders as he is in them. Tom Brady, who recently joined the franchise as a minority owner, is spearheading the search for a coach and general manager after the dismissal of Tom Telesco on Thursday. Brady will have significant voice in the Raiders' decisions, which we know. And, they ended up going out and they hired Jed Hughes. I wonder how Jed Hughes would feel about this. I know a few weeks ago, I did a show on could the Raiders potentially hire Pat Shurmur. I mean, it was somebody that I was told 2 months ago that Shurmur could be a guy to keep in mind if the Raiders are interested in Deion and if, they want to bring in Shedeur. If you don't know, Pat Shurmur, he's got some head coaching experience. He's got some coaching experience in general. Actually, I don't know if he has head coaching, but I know he's got a lot of NFL experience, and he's the OC right now for the Colorado Buffalo. So that could be interesting, man. If you do not know, I have made multiple videos, which you can find them on my Instagram. You can find them on my Twitter. I bet you if you even went on Google and you looked up Deion Sanders, Mitchel Renz, Raiders Report, you're going to see a lot of the videos that I've done in the past. Also, Deion Sanders is a watcher of the Raiders Report. He has liked multiple of my videos indicating that the Raiders want Shedeur Sanders and indicating that Deion wants Shedeur to play for the Raiders. So, just saying. Hang on. Okay, sorry. I just saw something else pop up. I'm like, what else could possibly happen? It was just Ian Rappaport saying that Cliff Kingsbury is a hot head coach candidate once again, not regards to the Raiders, but just because the Raiders are keeping their eye on Ben Johnson. So anyhow, I almost wonder if Shedeur's a little bit nervous of which one of the teams could potentially take him. Like, I know Shedeur the other day talked about, wherever the draft is, like, I'm okay with it, but I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to go to the Titans. The Browns have that number 2 pick. Like, I can't imagine he wants to go to Cleveland. And for anybody, that does not know, Tom Brady has worked with Shedeur Sanders over the past few years. They have NIL deals together from TB12. They have, mentored. I have done multiple videos on how great of a relationship. I mean, Shedeur would text Tom Brady every time after a game. Tom Brady and them would talk after every single game. Tom Brady would talk, they would interact with each other all the time on social media. But the fact that Deion is now very interested in this job, and the fact that Deion has been on my personal social media liking my videos about me wanting the Raiders to go out and get Shedeur, about Deion wanting Shedeur to go to the Raiders, I think now that we are starting to see that this is an actual possibility. So before I get into the rest of Vincent Bonsignore's article here, my question of the entire nation is this. Do you want Deion Sanders to be the Raiders head coach? Give me a yes, give me a no. My answer after this YouTube ad break. I love the idea of what Deion can bring to the Raiders. But this, in my personal opinion, would be Mark Davis falling into Mark Davis's trap. I think Deion should stay in college, and I think Deion is going to change college football. He's already changed college football. The amount of views, the amount of eyeballs that Deion brings, Colorado is getting the amount of attention that SEC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac, whatever the hell it's called now, they're all getting those eyeballs because of Deion. But I think Deion's communication and Deion's ability to be able to talk to, young men and saying, hey, I can get you into the league, that's a big selling point. I don't know exactly what that selling point looks like in the NFL, but you also got to say this, Deion's been able to build an unbelievable culture at his first job at Jackson State at the HBCU. Then you go to Colorado, and they've been able to build something special. He has dealt with a lot of pressure, and you're going to get a lot of pressure here. You know that the Raiders are going to offer a long-term contract. Here's the thing. You're going to link Deion together with Shedeur, and that's going to be as long as what Deion's going to be here. But it also guarantees that you can get a quarterback. So, I get it's two in ways. Here's how I would look at it, okay? Ben Johnson is option number 1. Ben Johnson's got to be number 1. If you miss out on Ben Johnson, and if Mike Vrabel goes somewhere else, because I think Vrabel's another guy that they're interested in, but the writing I think is almost on the wall that Vrabel's going to end up taking the job with the Patriots, Ben Johnson is number 1. If you can't get Ben Johnson, okay, you still got to go and you still got to look at a lot of other pieces out there. I would rather Deion over Pete Carroll. I'm not afraid to admit that. And I know Jed Hughes was somebody that hired Pete Carroll and Schneider when they were together for the Seattle Seahawks. But I am a little bit nervous about Pete Carroll. And if Mark Davis wants to go with the big name, because Pete Carroll no doubt is a big name, Deion Sanders is no doubt a big name. I'd actually probably even rather hire a guy like Liam Cohn over Deion, but maybe that's just my opinion. The reason, though, why Mark I could see doing it is because what does Mark care about? And this is a video that I've done already 10 times on this channel. Cares about money. There's nobody that's going to bring more money to the Raiders, win, lose, or tie, than Deion. And I said it before. I think if Deion Sanders is the head coach of the Raiders, people always talk about America's team of the Dallas Cowboys. And I know that might hurt some Raiders fans' feelings out there, but we know what it is, right? They have a great fan base. They have a big fan base. Not a great fan base, a big fan base. If you go out and you hire Deion Sanders, I think that there's a legitimate chance that the Raiders become that team where more people just start to watch. More fans start to watch. Deion gets people to watch, kind of the same way, like people who aren't even interested in football watch because of Deion Sanders. Like I hate bringing this up, but it's just like Taylor Swift. The amount of young women, the amount of young girls, the amount of dads that watch football, the Chiefs games because their daughters are interested in Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, that's another moneymaker. But to me, Deion Sanders is going to bring those eyeballs, and he's going to bring the money. He's going to bring the revenue. And I know how Mark Davis likes that stuff a lot. But I really think that the Raiders would be the number one most valuable team in the NFL in 5 years if Deion is hired. But you want to talk about ticket prices going up. All I'm going to say is this, Mark. You better not raise them anymore. Better not raise them anymore if you got and hire Deion, because you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be upset. Now, I could also say if you hire Ben Johnson, I think you're guaranteed to win, which is also going to make the most money. I still want Ben Johnson's option number one, but Deion Sanders is interesting. He would make Mark a lot of money. And for me, I'm not going to lie, as a content creator, it would be really interesting to cover Deion Sanders. No doubt about it. And I bet you I could get him on the show. Well, maybe after he's hired by the Raiders. I don't know if he'd want to join. But Deion, if you want to join the show, bro, you let me know. All right. Coming up here in just a moment, I'm going to go through the remainder of this Vincent Bonsignore article because there's still a lot more to digest. Again, though, if you guys haven't already, my one sponsor here, they're always loyal. It's Prize Picks. Go to Prize Picks. They are the number one spot, number one daily fantasy sports app out there. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more, you pick less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's number one daily fantasy sports app. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quick as 15 minutes. Download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks run your game. If you're hanging out with me, if you're hanging out with Chugs, during the Chargers-Texans game, I will be live here on this channel, so hopefully you guys are here. Put a lineup in. More, less, have a little bit of fun. If it hits, awesome. If it doesn't, you had a good time while you were watching. What I want you to check out, though, this is what I want in everyone who watches the show. If you are going to do Prize Picks, okay, and if you're going to run your game, try it out. Rushing yards in first 5 attempts, receiving yards first 2 catches. It's electric. I'm telling you, it's so much fun. So hopefully you guys go play Prize Picks. Huge shout out to them. Links down in the comments. It's in the description of today's show. All right, so we're going to keep it going here with this Vincent Bonsignore article. And again, he is very interested. Deion Sanders is, quote, very interested in the Raiders head coaching job, according to Vinny B. And when Vinny B puts this stuff out there, that means it's legit, man. This is a very, very legit report. He ended up just winning, which, Vinny, I know you and I were talking the other day. Congratulations to you, man. It was Nevada Sports Writer of the Year, I believe, is what Vinny ended up winning. Let me go check my DMs because, we're literally just talking about Vinny's article here. So let me give him his proper love because he deserves it. Nevada Sports Writer of the Year, Vincent Bonsignore. Congratulations to you, man. Very well deserved. All right, let me look down here real quick. Brady has worked with and mentored Shedeur Sanders over the years. Brady's clothing brand TB12 signed the young quarterback to an NIL deal in 2022. Deion Sanders, the coach of Colorado since 2023, was asked this week on Good Morning America if he had interest in coaching in the NFL. He said, "The only way I would consider it is to coach my sons." And the fact is that this is also very important, right? I think this is another indication of what some of the things that are happening behind closed doors, where, we sit here and we wonder, is Shedeur going to pull an Eli Manning? Is Shedeur going to pull an Eli Manning and say, well, I'm only going to play for the Raiders? And, it was talked about, and maybe Deion could be somebody that helps the Raiders do that. But there's not a report out there that says Deion's interested in the Bears job or that Deion's interested in, the Titans job, that Deion's interested in the Patriots job. There's a reason why he's interested in the Raiders job. And I think for Deion, of course he wants to coach. And who wouldn't want to coach their sons? That's an amazing thing. One of the biggest reasons why my dad's my best friend is I hit a home run when I was young. It was my first T-ball home run. He missed it, and he ended up quitting his job. And don't get me wrong, we struggled a little bit, paycheck to paycheck. But my dad and I, we always say, Our relationship is so close because of that day. I didn't really get to see him all that much. He was a train conductor for Norfolk Southern, and I'd see my dad like 3-4 times a month, and I'd spend a lot of time with my mom. And then he ended up quitting his job, and I almost wonder, like, I don't know what my life would have been. My mom did an amazing job being a mother, but her teaching styles were a lot different, let's just call it, compared to my dad. My parents are divorced. It's all love. They they get along all the time. They literally travel in car rides to go visit me when I come into town in Pennsylvania. So, like, they have a great relationship, minus the point. I totally get why Deion would want to do it, but Deion wants the Raiders job because that's where he wants Shedeur to go, because he knows Shedeur is going to have all the opportunities in the world with Tom Brady. And I mean this, dude. Like, that almost makes me think that even if we don't get Deion, I still wonder if we end up landing Shedeur Sanders. Could that be another reason why they moved on from Telesco? Because Telesco was unwilling to do the overpay in a sense, maybe for Jaden last year. They might have to overpay a little bit this year, or they might just tell teams, yo, don't even put Shedeur on your board. We're taking him here at number 6, so forget about it. The fact that Deion wants the job tells me that Deion wants Shedeur Sanders to be a Raider. All right, so here's the quote from Deion. I would only consider again if Sanders played. The Raiders have the number 6 pick in the draft, most likely out of position to select Shedeur Sanders, regarded as a top 3 pick. But the presence of his father in Las Vegas could change the dynamics. The Raiders could be more compelled to trade up with Sanders as their coach. And that's the thing. Like, if you're an NFL team, and even if the Raiders don't trade up for Shedeur, I don't think an NFL team takes Shedeur, because I think you just wasted your pick, right? Like, if you were an NFL team and you invested the number 1 overall pick in Shedeur Sanders, and then he goes, I want out, you just lost all your trade. Like, you just lost all of your, I don't know, what's the right word? I can't think of the right word, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, you lost all of your leverage. That's the word. You lost all your leverage if you draft somebody and then he goes, I want out. So if you're an NFL team, I actually don't even think you draft him. I don't even know if the Raiders would have to trade up to go get him. Makes it interesting. Oh, dude, this is a developing story. Vinny said he's going to do his best to keep you up to date. You guys already know I will do my best to keep you up to date. But man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is a really, really big bombshell. Deion Sanders is interested in the Las Vegas Raiders head coaching job. All right, y'all, I got to try to figure out a way to get ready for work. I feel like every time I try to get ready for work, more news happens. I'm getting ready, though, to shower, head into the studio. I got to take Chuck for one quick walk, and then I'm going to be going live 30 minutes before kickoff. Really hope the Texans take care of business up against the Los Angeles Chargers. Vinny, great read. Keep doing your thing, man. Again, congratulations on the award. For the entire nation out there, if you made it this far in the video, keep dropping those likes. I've had a lot of people say, Mitch, I like the at-home videos, or they're informative. I know it's a little bit of a different style show. I know people think that I'm just the guy that chugs beers and I scream a lot. Don't get me wrong. I like to have a good time. We do it a lot as well, and we're going to do it during the watch parties. And I get that that's what a lot of people think is the only thing that I can do. But we put in a lot of time and effort. We put in a lot of energy. You don't get to 183,000 subs, which actually we literally just crossed as I'm watching this video right now. Shout out to all of y'all. You don't get to 183,000 subs without putting in the time and the effort, and I think a lot of people see that. And real talk, I appreciate it. And again, if you made fun of me in the video that I did this morning, I laughed at myself. I was tired, but that's how I know that y'all are my friends, because I mean it. Like, if I don't joke with you in person, that means I'm just not comfortable with you. And the fact that we've been able to build that type of relationship on YouTube proves to me more and more every single day that there's so much more than a YouTube channel. It is an awesome, awesome community. Oh, before I forget, I shared something on my Instagram story. It is a GoFundMe for Brandon Jasper. I put $100 in the GoFundMe already. So the last time that I checked, we were a few dollars away from hitting the goal for Brandon. I said this: if we hit that goal for Brandon by the end, or by the time kickoff happens, I will give away a Raiders jersey on today's live stream for some watcher. It's not going to require any super chat. It's not going to require anything. All it's going to require is that you subscribe and that you're there and you're watching. That's all it's going to require, and it's for Brandon Jasper. So thanks again to everybody out there. All right, I got to get out of here. I think my Roomba back there is about to blow up. My goodness. Peace out. Enjoy the playoff games today. And Deion, if you want to get on the Raiders report, you let me know. Let's talk, man. For more videos here around the Silver and Black, I need them right here. I got you covered. For even more than right there, for even more right there. Videos, whether it's live, whether they're shorts, I'm going to do everything in my power to keep you guys up to date. And to make sure you never miss anything, hit this subscribe button right here and make sure those notifications are turned on.